Yay Media Group.
Maybe this is TMI, but we are tunnel buddies, okay?
Okay, I
You
don't
and
want to
my
talk
man.
about it, but you can talk
You don't
about
want
it.
to talk about.
Wait a second. Wait. Hold the fuck up. What is a tunnel buddy? All right, welcome back to another episode of Highkey. Hello, Yves. How
Good
you
morning,
doing?
afternoon, evening.
Girl, you look like you just got off from a nap.
I literally did just get up from a nap, girl. Don't you clock my tea like that in front of all of these people. Leave me alone, girl.
For all of our visual people watching, I mean, girl, it gave a nap face. Like, literally, that pillow still has an indentation of, like, your face in it.
Yeah, my eyes are not open. In all fairness, though, I haven't, like, been sleeping well for, I want to say, like, the last week now.
Yeah.
And last night I went out. I went to the FK Twigs concert.
Oh, how was that?
It was so cool to see live, and I think Denver just might have been too lame to watch.
Which is so crazy because you would think like FK. Like, I wonder has she ever been to Denver, and is she planning on going back after that show?
I mean, I think so. She said like the same thing that everybody else who performs here says, which is like, wow, you guys really don't have any air. I love you though. Love Denver.
Here's the thing. I need to come to Denver because after that lip sync with fucking Jane Don't that sent her home, I need to see Nene Coco perform live. Like, I'm still gagged by how that all went down. And also, like, you sort of calling that there was going to be a plot twist for Jane Don't.
Girl, I could just feel it. I could feel it in her fucking confessionals.
Yeah.
Like you could see this like weird defeated thing, and I'm really glad I literally just watched the episode today. It's been like the better part of a week.
Yeah.
And I just watched it today because I could not bring myself to like see the shenanigans. And I'm so glad I did because it is 100% what should have happened.
And here's the thing. It did make the episode and the season overall a lot better because it was starting to hit like a state where I was like, okay, I'm getting bored. The final girl's here. I'm like, I just feel like they're going through the motions. I need a surprise twist. But oftentimes I really did see Jane Doe making it to the end, but at least we know that if she plays her cards right, she has literally locked in the rest of her career and her drag race career, right? Like she can go back and have that like that moment that really will be her shining moment at the top.
Hell no,
she
bitch.
wins
She better
All-Stars.
literally, I've seen so much discourse about this online, but she better literally never touch an All-Stars. Do not step foot back into that fucking workroom.
What the fuck?
It would ruin her career.
No, it won't.
It would.
It won't. I don't agree.
I
don't agree.
swear to God it would, because
You put her up against some OG like drag race girls and she's one of like the kind of representing the newer drag race girls. I think she would tear. I think
it would ruin her career.
I do not believe that.
The
I'm
reason
sorry.
why is okay, this is about to get me 20 times canceled. So everybody,
Girl,
let's
don't piss me off.
Let's hold some hands real quick.
Don't piss me off.
Let's remember that we are all artists and everything
I don't want to talk to you
is
anymore.
subjective. The only OG drag race girls who want to go on All Stars don't have anything new to show the world.
Oh my God.
Change my mind, bitch.
Is that really true though?
Change my mind, bitch.
I just feel like there are some like queens, especially like the Black queens, in my opinion, that always get sort of like a resurgence when they do go on All Stars. And I'm not talking about the franchises because those franchises, girl, are trash. But for me, I think when they go on like OG Drag Race All Stars, I do think there's a win for them because one, they're back into the cultural kind of lens of a lot of like the fans are being reintroduced. And I think that's something that does work for at least a little bit of time to sort of get them ramped back into, you know, popular mainstream drag culture, but like also it's just nice to see them. Don't ruin my life.
Listen, girl, I'm not saying it's not nice to see them and be like, oh, that's right, I haven't thought of this queen in 12 years because she got eliminated second on season 2 or whatever, you know, like, but that is legitimately what it is. And let me defend my little Jane Don't point. The reason she shouldn't go back to All Stars is she doesn't have a story to feed people. Like and robbed is not a story when you deserved to go home, when you made history as being like the fiercest fucking competitor in Drag Race history. And when it really came down to it around the end, like there just was no more steam in the engine. We all know she deserves to, like, in one world, she deserves to be in the finale of this. Going back and watching her spend a bunch of money on All Stars to like win the crown and then have a fandom that hates her because they just did this whole season for Jane Don't. I Jane Don't want to see it.
No, I can see that, but I also think when we're talking about like the producer, and I was sort of thinking about this while I was watching that week's episode, I was like, you know, the producers have to think long term here. If they are thinking of longevity for RuPaul's Drag Race, they have to sort of start building out the queens that have more to their story or have like, you know, they've like been sort of like fucked over, where if they do bring them back, they can like bring them back in like
there should be no bringing
seasons,
them back. And
it will allow for sort of kind of like a longevity of like the RuPaul's Drag Race, you know, universe. I do think there's a play there that I feel like producers are thinking about, well, who out of these sort of new gen queens, who are we building a storyline around where they can come back and they are just like the OG queens that we all kind of fell in love with? Because I don't really think there is any right now besides, you know.
Ooh, not you affirming me, bitch.
I'm like, is it? I was gonna say plain. I'm like, plain. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't. I don't want her to like not go back on, because I do enjoy watching her on my TV, and I just don't
I do too. I would enjoy
her
it.
not being on TV is a disservice to her career.
Well, okay, but that's also why I don't think she should go back on. And my last little bitty about this.
Fuck your points.
I'm sorry. We're listen, girl.
Because my thing is that at the end of the day, of no matter how much shit you talk about Drag Race, you liked being on All Stars. It was a good moment for you, regardless. It was a good moment for you. You have to accept that.
No, actually I don't.
Don't piss me off.
I am so sorry. I don't regret going there, and I don't regret wanting to be a part of something bigger. Doing more, like, it is my favorite fucking show, and if they asked me to go back again, I'd probably say yes again, and then I just quit this time when I realized that, like, my health, my passion, my life isn't gonna change because of it. And my last point that I was trying to make is that, like, the purity of Drag Race comes from Drag Race, comes from getting to see these new artists and getting to see how fierce and how hard their perspective is. And the downfall of Drag Race is the all-stars of it all, is that, like, there is this sense when you go on the show now that, like, oh, well, she'll be back for All Stars. Like,
not for everybody. Not everyone.
Well, no. But like, there's that mindset. Like, every girl who gets eliminated now has All Stars, has All Stars in mind. Whereas when it like was first starting, you went on Drag Race and it fucked you over. It crushed your career. And now I've noticed girls will go back on All Stars and they'll be like, yes, this is going to be so great. And ultimately, all it really does is give your career a little blip. It gives your career like a blip So if you are struggling, I am so about it, bitch. Like,
Yeah.
go back on All Stars, like, accept every opportunity. If you are Jane Dount and you are hands down like one of the best contestants to have ever appeared on that show, be friends with them. Do not turn down opportunities per se, but say, oh, I'll think about it. I've actually got this Broadway audition. I actually was hoping I could be in you guys' next movie production, you know? Like,
well, we'll see. I mean, I think, you know, she has such a long career. And to be honest, like the guest that we have on today's episode has had an incredibly long career and has done a pivot in a really interesting way, and actually talks a little bit about how, like, he feels that drag queens and porn stars are basically the same people. Shout out to Boomer Banks. He's on the show this week. Get your life, because the conversation is really interesting. And I love that we can just like unpack sectors and like subcultures of queer culture on this show and talk about it in a new light. And so get ready for Boomer Banks.
oh yeah, you better be prepped and douched and stuff.
Highkey. Highkey.
When I tell you, today has been so chaotic, but honestly, it just got better because of our guest. I'm so excited because one, I always love to see who like just randomly is like following and supporting and like listening to our crazy little show. And I feel like this guest, Boomer Banks, was one of like our early supporters. It's just so fucking cool because it's like, it's Boomer Banks. Like, what do you mean? And so I'm very, very excited. Yvie, I know you're very, very excited to welcome the icon, the legend, Boomer Banks.
Boomer Banks.
Hi.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome. Thanks for joining us.
So honored. So because when I started DJing, I was like so musiced out, like going to the gym and listening to music was like, it just felt like I was still working. So I started listening to podcasts.
Whoa.
And so when I'm working out, I'm listening to y'all. I'm listening to, you know, my friends when I'm working out, and people are like, oh, what do you listen to? I'm like, I'm listening to a podcast.
Bitch, that is so ass backwards. That is wild for me to imagine when every other gay at the gym is like Lady Gaga, Beyonce.
Oh,
like, yeah.
And they're listening to our gay ass voice.
And
you're like,
and he was like,
you're like, I'm getting so pumped on this shit.
While I'm trying to do a squat.
Wait, but I think that's really interesting to know, though. Like, obviously, everyone knows you for your iconic, just like, you know,
adult
porn
film career.
Yes.
Yeah, like it's been beautiful to obviously like see how you've been able to also pivot into DJing. Which has that always been like a goal of yours to be a DJ? Why sort of jump into that world now?
Well, nightlife was what got me into sex working. So nightlife has always been a very prominent, like, when I moved to New York, I moved for fashion. I went to school for fashion design.
Word.
And I went to school in Los Angeles at LA Trade Tech. And I got a job with a French designer named Catherine Malandrino, and I moved to New York. And things just didn't work out. But it's hard to find a brand new fashion job if you don't already have established yourself. And I hadn't established myself in New York. So I tried to go back to like, for a whole year, actually just 1 year, I went back to high-end retail because I knew how to sell things to people. So I went, and every 3 months, you know, they review you and they're like, oh, it's not working now. And you're like, yeah, I agree. So I would go get a new job. But then like after like the year ended, I started meeting all these. Everybody also knows that I'm in recovery. This July, it'll be 22 years clean and sober.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's so bizarre because I'm inching close to the year that I was when I actually got clean and sober, which was 24 years old.
Ooh.
So that's bizarre to me. And I'm also like that crazy statistic, you know, and we all know about statistics as people of color, as brown and black individuals. Like, we know that, number one, as drug addicts, we are in the very low % of recovering. Speaking for myself, as someone with HIV, as being an addict, as being an immigrant, there's so many things against, as being queer. so many things against me to not recover from anything, to have, lifelong trauma.
Yeah.
But for some reason, at the age of 24, I did end up in jail. And I had this moment of like, this can't be it. This just, I don't know what it is, but this isn't it.
So would you say that like, cause I've got lots of addicts in my life, lots of recovering addicts in my life. And a lot of what I hear about is like the rock bottom moment. Was like jail a strong rock bottom for you?
Rock bottoms had like, there were multiples. Like as I was a real drug addict. So like for me, I became HIV positive and, I had full blown AIDS. Like I was diagnosed with full blown AIDS. And when I got out of the hospital, I went and used more. So there was rock bottoms, but then that bottom still had a trap door.
You were like, but girl, I could go lower.
Yeah, there was a trap door. There's constant trap doors when it came to me, because I just didn't want to feel. It wasn't about partying for me. It wasn't about having a good time. I had so many things that had happened to me growing up. I just didn't want to feel any of them. But there was a moment, like I said, when I was 24, where there was just something in me that made me want to survive all this. And I don't know what it was. And and it was a series of events, like the public defenders, like, oh, this is your second offense. Do you have a problem? And I was like, yes. And everything just kept coming. And then I was put in rehab, in an inpatient rehab, and I was put in a drug court program. And they're all like, if you complete all this, you will not be charged with whatever I was being charged with. So I think it was possession of drugs.
Yeah. See, and that's why I'm like, I think a lot of people may think this is like, although you were going through all of this and yet you made like your choice to be sober and you did it like, obviously after you hit rock bottom, but it was like, why pivot to nightlife when that seems like temptation would be everywhere?
So no, that took a while, baby. So I lived in Los Angeles when I got clean and sober, and that was it was the most beautiful. So in Hollywood, there's this group of people, and they just took me under their wing and like took care of me and kept me clean and sober.
So the nightlife came like real far after?
No, it was crazy. So nightlife just happened. And then there's photographers, and Yvie, you know this, like once people see what's going on down there, they're like, oh, let's take pictures. Oh, let's take off your clothes.
I think it's funny that you mentioned that though, because I didn't have the same experience as you, but I think we like, what's interesting and fun about getting to talk to you today is you were one of like the first, I'm just going to use the word celebrities, one of the first celebrities to like reach out to me and hit me up after Drag Race got announced. One of my first trips to New York.
Really?
Like Boomer reached out and was like, yeah, we should meet up. You came to the hotel that I was staying at, and we just chilled.
We just hung out.
I was going to say, didn't have
No. Me and Yvie have not kai-kai'd yet.
Not yet. Although I will say, maybe this is TMI, but we are tunnel buddies. Okay.
I
don't and my
talk
man
about it, but you can talk.
You don't want to talk about.
Wait a second. Wait. Hold the fuck up. What is a tunnel buddy?
So listen. Let me preface. So I am very much
a slut.
Yes.
Well, yes.
And 3 years ago, I stopped doing industry stuff. I didn't announce it. I didn't say like, I'm done with porn. Like that's such a weird thing to say because porn's never done with you, girl. So
it's the drag.
Same as drag.
Yeah, it's a drag thing. It's a drag thing. It's very drag. I've always said drag and porn are the same thing. We just do the opposite. Drag queens put on clothes, we take them off. You know what I mean? We come up with a new name. We perform with that name. It's just different, right? So, I grew up cruising, like actually cruising, not the new Snippy's cruising, not that new style. I was literally in parks, in bathrooms, but respectful of and mindful always of other people, but still being, expressing myself as a queer man because that's where the places that we can meet up with people when I was growing up.
That's just a part of queer culture and history.
But obviously, Sniffy's kicked up this whole new thing, right? So I was cruising one time and I met up with this guy and
fat cock. Big fat cock.
Big fat cock. And it was fun. And I never saw him again. I think we texted a couple times. He told me he was a lawyer. That's it. Nothing more.
You exchanged information.
Because we had a good time. We had a good time.
Love.
We had a good time. And then fast forward, we're in P-Town. And I was like, what is her husband? Like, have I met him before? Yvie's husband and I. There's a guy.
Hell yes. Hell yes.
What?
Hell yes. See, and that's why I was saying we are tunnel buddies.
Tunnel buddies.
This was a long way of saying Boomer Banks slept with my man in a bathroom, a public bathroom. And I am
there was no sleeping.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Oh, I'm not sleeping on that dick. I'm reflecting on it.
I've always wondered when it comes to folks who have like obviously done the work for so long and like everyone feels like they have this sort of parasocial relationship with your body.
Right.
And they think they sort of know you or own you or whatever that comes with the job.
Oh, they don't think they know. Like they're like, oh, I know you.
What? How did you sort of navigate like dating and finding your person?
Well, this is one of the reasons why I adore your guys's podcast is because Yvie often talks about her relationship. And you are so good at like because it's so different, your views and hers, but you guys still like have this very comfortable conversation where she can accept your way of being and you can accept her way of being. And sometimes you guys like figure out things about each other. I don't know if you guys realize it. Like I hear it all the time. One of my favorite ones was when Yvie, and it hits so deep when Yvie was talking that her relationship is what taught her how to, because you're like, I can't, and it's funny because I texted you, I was like, you want to cuddle with me? But the reason why I'm able to be intimate with these other men is because of the relationship that I have with my partner.
Well, and that's beautiful, right? Because I just feel like, especially in like gay and queer relationships, there's always this conversation about like the dying art of monogamy. And like no one wants to experience monogamous relationships anymore.
But it seems like emotionally monogamous to my partner.
Yeah.
Okay. But but what you're describing actually, it for me rings a bell of like, oh, this is what it looks like too when the people say ethical non-monogamy. This is the respect, the love, and care that goes into that.
The ethical part is that, like, I know I'm not searching for something else. And that's what people always, like,
are afraid of.
That's their argument. That's their argument is like, oh, if you're going to be with something, you want something else from somewhere else. It's like, no, I am a queer man. And I've been in monogamous relationship and it's ridiculous to think that your partner's never going to look at another man or have feelings or find another man like attractive, like,
or that because your relationship is important, it should like, it should cripple your ability to form any other relationships because you have to be like, oh shit, I got a husband. I don't know if I can be hanging around with hot guys.
Right.
I don't know if my husband would like me having friends.
It's very traditionalism. Like, it's very like, well, why are we, we as queer people are supposed to be like the complete opposite of the systems that have tried to like trap us and oppress us. We are supposed to be able to like navigate and live a more sort of like experience freedom and love in a different way because we're escaping that.
We've only been able to be queers for a certain amount of time. And there was a whole generation right before me that were wiped out. So we were not able, we lost a whole generation that was able to, especially Black and Brown disproportionately, that were able to teach us how to have relationships.
How to love, how to grow old. Y'all, I woke up this morning and I don't know, my algorithm just like got me. it just like sent me nonstop videos of this like gay couple who's been together for 44 years. And I swear I just like spent the whole time crying because they were just doing the most boring straight person shit. They were like playing Scrabble and like petting their cat and stuff. And it meant so much to me to see that like gay people have a future, that like we can love each other, that even when we're doing the most boring straight person shit, our love is still like something different and something scary that people didn't ever want to speak about. Cause
like I can't stop thinking about finally living with my fiance. And you know what's, it's crazy. I get teary eyed like every day. Like I come home and I'm like, I don't want to be here by myself anymore. I want to wake up and make him lunch. Talk about like normal things. I want to be home when he gets home. I want to like, he said the cutest thing. Like we were laying here a couple weeks ago. He's like, are you ready to have endless sleepovers?
Fuck you both, because that is so beautiful.
Highkey.
Oh, one of the things I thought was be interesting to talk with you guys is I started going to therapy. It was very important to me.
Yeah.
And I've been with the same therapist ever since. And
so you're monogamous
with my therapist. And so one of the things that I found out in my 30s, I'm 45 now. I'll be 46 in a couple of months, but in about 10 years ago, only 10 years ago, she asked me about the standard. We were talking about the standard of beauty. And in my head, blonde hair and blue eyes came out. And I paused and she looked at me and she's like, why do you not think you are the standard of beauty? So for a long time, you know, and people, and Yvie knows this as well. My partner is a little bit more ambiguous looking. He is from Jersey. He's Italian, so he has dark hair and brown eyes. But people are like, oh, he's with a white guy. Oh, he's with a white guy.
I mean, he still is white. So.
Yes. Yeah. No, I know that. No.
Ryan being people.
Right.
Yeah.
But we just love, you know, it's not that we were specifically looking. And
right.
I met him after, right? You know, like not met him, but we fell in love after I realized I am the standard of beauty.
Can we actually stay there though? Because
yes.
I was thinking a lot about this and how like sort of in adult film culture, you know, body discrimination in the mainstream.
Oh my God.
Is like such a thing.
Yeah.
And I wondered why, one, do you think it's such a huge piece of the culture where you only see one size of body and only seeing that sort of experience? And then were you aware of that when you were making content? And did you try to push the norms?
I started in industry porn, right? There was no content. There was no OnlyFans when I started. It was the tail end. For me, I think porn stars had already come and gone.
Yeah.
If Ted from Ohio can, with 2 followers, can put his booty hole online and call himself a porn star in his bio, he can keep that word. I am not that.
Yeah.
I worked way too hard. I am just Boomer Banks. I'm okay not being a porn star. I've contributed in many other ways to queerness. Porn stars to me were like Arpad Miklos, Francois Sagat, Eric Rhodes, all these people that like you would see in like box like DVDs or you know even older VHS.
Yeah.
Those were porn stars when they were unattainable. I feel like porn stars died with supermodels.
But that don't answer my question.
No, so
where are the fat bodies in porn?
So because of that whole arc of situations, when I started, I thought that maybe they were changing because I was not any of those people. And for a whole year, in my first year, I proved, because I was like, I know what you've done for other people in this industry. One being Francois Sagat, who's very okay with his queerness, his femininity, his artistic background and everything. I was like, I know what you did for him. If you do that for me, I'll sign with you guys. Because at the time, people were not really signing, and it was just, and I also made it very clear. I was 33 when I started. So I wasn't this 20-year-old that was impressionable. I was like, I am not going to be your housekeeper in these videos. I'm not going to be your landscaper. I am going to be on the cover of many of those DVDs. And they were like, we've never experienced anybody like you. We love it.
They're like,
blah,
but
blah.
you're so brown.
Right. Well, no, they were very okay with it. And they, for a while, I thought they were on board, but then like, they just started hiring other white guys after me. Yeah. And then I started hearing the like, well, you only shoot with white guys. And I was like, well, that's all they have for me to pick from.
And were you exclusively topping in those?
So, and they also like pigeonholed me into being a top. And I've always been versatile. But of course, the minute the top bottoms, he's a bottom. Like there can't be an in between. Like, for some people, versatility does not exist, and that's fine. That if that's your like mindset, I can get equally hard and flip back and forth in a session. I know some people can just bottom. I know some people just can top, and I will respect that. I am like 100% verse, but. Going back to the thing, I started being very vocal because Twitter, Twitter back then in 2014 or whatever, people were, bantering back and forth. And I was really much bantering about how, other brown or black people, please sign up for industry porn. Like, I would love to work with you guys.
Literally last night while I was jerking off to some like really old porn, I was like thinking about the sort of visibility that porn gave people and the sort of access to believe in how gay sex works, how queer love works, how relationships can be acted out, and how for the most part when I was growing up, like it was just like muscly white guys were gay
hairless.
porn.
Absolutely.
Hairless, oily,
muscled up white guys.
I didn't even know hairy men existed for a long time.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And when I saw it, I was like jarred in a very positive. I was like, oh, I like this.
But what's such a trip is like when we did meet, one of the first conversations that I do remember was you telling me about your passion in specifically trying to change this narrative that because you are like a hot brown guy with a fat cock that you're just here to be a landscaper.
I did a podcast a couple weeks ago, and the one little snippet that they took out was me saying, and this was just my experience. I wasn't saying this was a response to or to a criticism. I was just saying that I was often told that I was just working with white people. Mm-hmm. And I was like, but I was the brown person in that scene.
In that room.
So
I was.
But that is not a proper response. Exactly. It's not a proper. No.
Because I felt the same way when I watched the clip, but I knew there was more to it because I actually went and watched the video.
Right. So,
but people don't do that.
But at the same time, that I was at that point for that thing I was talking about, I was serious. My response is never going to be enough because I didn't have the tools. I didn't have the say to be like, hey, it wasn't until we started doing OnlyFans that then I had the tools to be like, I can work with this person.
You can like choose
how. And now I have a website called foreskinmafia.com where, I can pick and choose who I want to work with me. And I often try to get brown and people of color to come and work with me. But it's also.
But do you feel pressure like you have to?
No, because a lot of them do want to, right? A lot of them do. But then I feel weird now when I do like have a scene with a white person and I shouldn't have to.
When you're talking though about like the beauty standards and what people perceive, I mean, a lot of times, and I think we've seen this when it comes to like politics, when Pornhub like drops, their data around what's the most watched thing.
Yeah.
And so it's always just so interesting around like how that actually porn is actually a space that is way more impressionable than we may think. And when I think it actually helps us define what society cues as these like sort of beauty standards. And I just wonder when yes, we need more Black and brown folks. And I think that's what like sort of OnlyFans is sort of kind of it revolutionized, where anyone could kind of go in and do their thing and make money.
I mean, a quick example. So Raheem, when he first started, he would not show his face. And then he did. And that was like mind blowing. Like that he finally felt comfortable enough to show his face. And he's a beautiful man. He's a beautiful human. And he's created something beautiful, or, you know,
I think people still have a lot of thoughts around that too.
People will always have
but that's the thing. So when are we? I feel like sometimes
I don't think that's fair though. I think we have to be able to like sort of like any art. There's space for critique, and I think I think we need to be able to understand there's nuance in any industry, and I think there's nuance in your industry. But I also think there has to be a point where people are like full on calling out the lack of body diversity, the lack of racial diversity, like the lack of like, you know, playing into moments that are like literally fetishizing.
So,
you know,
I did a scene with Santana XXL.
Yes.
And I had a great time with him. And the reaction to that was so gross. And every time I do a scene with a trans man, the reaction to that is so gross.
Yeah.
So we want diversity, but then we give you diversity, and then the reactions are disgusting.
Highkey.
Okay, I gotta chip in here, y'all,
Yes,
because I've been holding my tongue about this like literally since the beginning of this conversation. Because I just started moving into like the adult film world. I started my own little Just
I
for
was wondering
Fans.
if you were going to bring it up. I wanted to bring it up, but yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Bringing it up.
But
Okay,
the
great.
reason
I may or may not have seen a couple things.
I mean, this is why I had to bring it up. I'm like, I'm not going to get through this entire conversation about like big bodies and brown people in porn without saying that much like you and I are tunnel buddies through my husband.
Yes.
We're also family, because like the first clip of mine that the world has seen was me fucking your porn son, Bowser Banks.
Oh, that's your son?
Yes, Bowser's mine. Yeah.
And what's such a trip for me is like going into the idea of like putting content on Just for Fans. I immediately worried about how people were going to judge the kinds of people I collaborate with. I was like afraid of the like, oh, why is there only white guys? And I'm like, because most of my videos are with my husband, who's white. I was worried about how people would like judge or shame me for like fucking old guys and fat guys and femme people and like what happened when Bowser posted this clip of like me fucking him. It was just wild for me to see how much people needed to see something like this, and specifically because
important.
Yeah, because I wasn't out here like showboating. I wasn't out here producing a porno. This was something from a fat person that posted online with somebody who I think, just speaking about myself in third person, was somebody that people would not assume would think fat is beautiful.
Right.
And so like, that's why I think OnlyFans, I think filming, I think the self-content industry is probably actually one of the best things that could happen for our sexual relationship to other people, because there is something different about showing it.
And I think that's what, for a second, when the porn company that I started with, I think that's what they saw in me, because I remember my first time shooting. It was my 33rd birthday. My Jesus year I did porn.
I know that's right.
And the director was like, are you sure you haven't done this before? And I was like, did you just call me a whore? And I was like, well, yes, no, but like I had it, and studio porn is different. It's very this, and this. But he's like, you're so good at it. You're very sexy. You don't break character. It's beautiful to watch. And the next day they asked me to be exclusive. Like the president of the company called me, and of course me thinking like I did something wrong, like I'm getting fired or whatever. And they're like, we want to offer you an exclusive. And I was like, whoa, I just started dating you. Like, chill.
Yeah.
But I think they saw like what Yvie was talking about, this genuine interest in being sexy and on camera and not showboating and not pretending. And it helped that I knew the person that I was doing a scene with. They were from New York. So that was very helpful. But that passion, and I think the reason why I did create what I did is because people, when they often saw me in these studio things, they saw me being like genuinely passionate in these scenes and genuinely into it. And eventually I learned how to perform that because there was times where I was not into someone and I had to perform it. And
you had to act.
And then when I started performing it, like it was even a bigger, like people would be like, oh, that scene was hot. And I was like, I hated that. Like, you know what I mean? And they're just like, oh my God, I think one of them won an award once. And I was like,
and you were like,
ugh.
God, for real?
Right. And another thing why I wanted to bring up the gay VNs, the last time I was there, they gave me Hall of Fame award.
Yeah.
And I was only the second person of color to ever win that award.
That's insane.
That is insane. Tiger Tyson, look him up. He's amazing. He's biracial. He's the only other person of color who has ever won that award. That's crazy to me.
Okay, so I really wanted to talk about getting to know you and like finding more stuff out about you on the internet has been really interesting for me.
Thank you.
I saw you were in the New York Times. I mean, trigger warning, everyone, 2022.
Yeah, that was hard.
Everyone's talking like we're post-COVID, sort of, kind of, not really, just like sort of dealing with the ramifications and the post-traumatic stress disorder that caused.
Yeah.
And then you go straight into the monkeypox like aspect of life. And you were one of the few folks that were very open about your experience with that. I
mean, I've always been open about my sexual health, and this affected me very intensely. It affected me in the way that I was discriminated about when it came to this. Also considering the fact that this wasn't like a new disease that no one knew about. Mm-hmm. So when I went to the Department of Health and a nurse came in this whole like hazmat suit, I was like, you can leave.
Girl.
Wait, but go before. Okay, pause there and go before that, because when did you realize like did you see?
I started getting pox on my hand, and I'm really good friends with Dimitri Daskalakis, who took like President Biden made him the Mpox liaison for the White House. I called him right away and I was like, this is happening. And he's like, baby. So then for me, for the majority of people, unfortunately, it manifested in their genitals. It manifested worse for me. It manifested in my face. Mm. And you know how us brown people are about our faces. And us black people are about our faces.
Absolutely.
Anybody with melanin, like our faces are Highkey, like our number one, like don't know anything.
Well, were you worried that you were on it? Like, I mean, that's your job. Your face is your job.
So, but also they left scars. I had to go to get like peels and Botox, and now look, you know. But it was traumatic. It was very traumatic. It was traumatic. But initially it was traumatic because I went to somewhere where I thought I was going to be taken care of, where I have been taken care of many times, the Department of Health. And I was treated like this was like some random thing that no one knows about. And I'm like, This is a 50-year-old disease. Why are you guys acting like this?
Yeah.
And a couple of the big people apologized. And then my doctor took the lead on a lot of things. And he got me into this like thing. And like, I got taken care of, but a lot of people didn't. And I mean, the worst in that situation was like when they were healing, they were so itchy. I couldn't sleep. And then they put me on this antihistamine and it like knocked me out, but it helped. And I could not have been privy to that if I wasn't vocal.
Yeah.
You know, and then a couple weeks later, the New York Times, a friend of mine's like, hey, do you want to talk to the New York Times? I said, abso-fucking-lutely. And I put
100.
the fucking Department of Health on blast.
Girl.
Yeah. Which a lot of people would not have done.
And there's a picture of me and Buster here in the loft. And I thought that was beautiful because I had to send him away because we didn't know if they were transmitted to dogs. And I would be so heartbroken if I gave anything to my dog.
You're like, my slut life should not affect your perfect little pup.
No. And so I was here alone and, you know, I was single at the time. So like, I was just alone and like my friends were very, very loving and caring and they took care of the dog and they would bring me food and leave it at the door. And, you know, it was rough.
There's so many misconceptions that I feel like people feel around sex workers that they are not like they're irresponsible about their sexual health in the way. Like, and it's just like acting, it's the complete opposite. Please speak to that.
I get tested once a month. Everything. I am so like I said earlier, I'm friends with Dimitri. He started experimenting with Doxy like 6 years ago. So I've been on Doxy for 6 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because he's like, you're a candidate for this. If they can give this for people who want to not have pimples, I'm going to give it to you to prevent you from getting such and such. And literally, I think in the past 6 years, I've had maybe gonorrhea twice.
Which is like immaculate for gay slut world, girl.
Do people feel more comfortable talking to you about their sexual health versus like not?
The queers, all of your peers will come and talk to a sex worker about their sexual health more than they do anybody else.
More than their partners.
More than their doctors, clearly.
Well, because a lot of doctors, they feel ashamed to tell them that they're sluts.
Yeah.
But the thing is that a long time ago is what made me want to be very aware of sexual health, period. Not because I'm like, oh, I'm going to like sit. I always let them know this is what I did, but I am not a healthcare professional. I know this is hard, but you should go to your doctor and tell them, oh, but no, you're talking to a random stranger about what's going on in your booty hole. You need to go to the person that gives you medicine and let them know that this is going on in your booty hole.
Yeah, go to the booty hole specialist.
Yeah, go to the booty hole specialist. And I've done so many collaborations with booty hole specialists, with regular doctors. I've done panels.
Yeah.
I've done so many things with sexual health because it matters to me, just like trans organizations. I've done so many things with trans because trans women, when I was homeless in Los Angeles on Santa Monica Boulevard, and that's where the whole stroll was, those girls would let me sleep on their couch as long as I was the lookout. They taught me how to fight because I had to learn how to fight as John got crazy with them. They taught me how to use my words. I owe trans and drag queens so, like, I owe them my whole life. They taught me how to be who I am. I didn't have family. I didn't have parents. You know, they also like introduced me to drugs, but they also were okay when I was ready to be sober. You know, they've all been supportive throughout. That's why Yvie was like, oh, you were the first person that like messaged me. I don't think I'm a celebrity. I just appreciated what you stood for. And I've been a fan of drag, not just Drag Race, but drag for it since I could remember.
Yeah.
You know, so when the weirdo on Drag Race goes on, like, I'm going to message them and be like, you're amazing. Because
And also, watch out, girl. Don't protect your peace. This world is crazy. Bitches are going to try and use you.
I said that to you down. I said that to you down. But yeah, sexual health, we are not like sex worker will know, but please still always go to your health code professional. And I know in the middle of the United States, you probably can't find a queer doctor or organization that'll help you. But I assure you, if you talk to somebody, they should be able to help and demand it. Because the amount of people that they're like, I went to my doctor and they said no, that's bullshit.
Yeah, girl.
The amount of times I've been like, no, this is what's happening with me. Like, you're going to help me. And then it happens because we need to be our own advocates sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate, but true.
Highkey. Highkey.
We ask every guest that comes on the show, what are you Highkey about? So what are you Highkey about?
What you Highkey about?
Highkey right now, I want everybody to smile at each other. Highkey, like our community can use a smile from one another, because this whole old school mean girl walking by, just pretending like I wasn't in your fucking gaping hole a couple of weeks ago situation is so ridiculous. Especially, we're under fire by so many other people. Like, why can't we just be nice to each other? Absolutely. We don't have to fuck again. And also, high key, if you're not attracted to me, that doesn't mean you have to be mean to me.
Ooh, this is so hot.
This
is the weirdest high key we've ever had.
Like,
She's going.
I just want people
places.
to be fucking nice. It's kindness is so easy.
Yeah,
kindness is so easy, and this bullshit. Like, I got it the other day. This guy's like, well, he's in his 40s. He's like, I'm shy and awkward. Bitch, are you 12? You're a 40-year-old faggot. You've been getting railed for fucking years. Saying that you're shy and awkward now is such a cop-out.
Yeah.
Like, just say you don't want to talk to me. I would respect someone to be like, I just not into it. Like, I'd be good. I don't have to, then we could be good. Like, that's fine. At the same time, I just feel like at this point in time, considering how much our community is under fire, kindness within our own community should be high key, such an important thing. Like,
absolutely.
Like it's crazy. Like, just respect. Like, I don't like all of you. You are a part of my community, and I love you. So I will give you the shirt off my back, but I don't have to like you.
Thank you so much for being on the show, Boomer Banks. You are so incredible. And please come on whenever you want.
And thanks for smiling with us.
Smile, bitches.
Highkey.
All right, girl. I have to say, this whole sesh with us brought me so much joy.
What about my hole?
Well, according to Boomer, maybe we can get it in some porn on some foreskin mafia.
Oh,
we're gonna break your filming cherry, right?
Please, you are.
But before we break that cherry, I want to know, what are you high key about this week?
Oh my God, I have music high keys. I am so high key. Do y'all remember that Disney Channel movie Lemonade Mouth with Haley Kiyoko, Bridget Midler, Naomi Scott? Emphasis on Naomi Scott. It was like a great Disney Channel movie musical. And if you haven't watched it, you should go back and watch it because it ages quite well. But Naomi Scott, she was also a Power Ranger. She was in one of the mainstream action-packed movie Power Ranger. Ooh. She was the Pink Ranger. She was also in Smile, one of the Smile movies. She played the pop star. Naomi Scott is literally, I think she may have just given me like my favorite pop album to date this year. And it came so random. She has a new album called Fig, F-I-G. And it's literally about 11 tracks. It's 30 minutes long and it's perfection. I'm not even joking when I say it. Naomi Scott might be like the girl we all need to be paying attention to in a real fucking way. So I'm high-key about Naomi Scott right now. Check her out if you just want some like new music to like penetrate your ears in a real way. What are you high-key about?
Okay. You know, I usually try and branch away from what you're doing, but I think like right now is apparently just a great time to be a faggot.
Yes.
And listen to music.
There's so much good music out right now.
It took me like a weekend to finally dive in and listen to all the faggots I saw screaming across Twitter, like, "Oh my God, Robin and Slater back to back." Playing Robin's new album back to back with Slater's new album is the high of everything I want in the world. It's like, yeah, I just took my acid and I'm dancing on the floor. And then Slater comes on and it's like, now you're hanging with your girlies at the after parties and they're like, you want to do a shot or a bump? I don't care. I'm actually kind of famous.
I need to listen to Slater's album because I listened to Robin's album. And if I'm being quite honest, it was good, but I give it a solid 7. It could have been better. Especially following up an album like Honey, which is literally just like so top tier to me. But Robin is like Chef's Kiss. She's my favorite person.
Oh, I just think they're both full of like such good songs that I want to perform in drag.
Yeah.
Like, and that used to be my barometer of good music to listen to. Is like, oh my God, this gives me ideas for performances. So
I love.
So my high key is gay ass music is back to back Robin and Slater albums.
Which our Mariah Carey season is literally here, almost here. By the way, it's almost Pride season.
Oh my God!
So I hope you're defrosting. You're ready for your full faggotry. Oh, what a great episode. Shout out to Boomer Banks again for joining us. We really, really loved having him on. And it's just so sweet to like always every single day find out like who some of our faves are actually like listening to the show. This is fucking crazy to me. It never gets old.
I know.
Of course, share the episode, share our show, follow us on social at Highkey here everywhere. And of course, leave comments, subscribe, leave us ratings. Do your big one because we want to keep this going and we love hearing all the feedback from y'all. We
want to do it with you. We can't do it without you.
Yvie's rubbing her nipple against security.
Get me out of here. I need to go back to my nap.
All right, love y'all. We'll see you all next week.